Hey, James, your seventh training camp, how does this one feel compared to the others as far as where you are physically?
It feels great. Obviously, we know that it's a process and we got to get better every single day. And it's just the beginning. But so excited to be with this team. Bunch of great guys, bunch of great teammates, and excellent coaches.
James, where do you feel you're at right now mentally? Because I know you want the offense to be second nature, where you actually not only try to run plays, but know what the defense is doing, how you're going to attack that defense. Because before you know it, the season's here. And you know, Sean, you know, everyone's saying, well, do you know the offense like Sean or Drew Brees? That's a lot of years. So where do you think you're at right now?
Yeah, you know, continuity is always a great thing for any position. And being able to experience Sean's and Drew's relationship gave me a good grasp of the system. But obviously, reps is what's important. This year, you know, I probably got more reps in 3 days than I got all last year. So it's an incredible feeling to be able to have the opportunity to go out there and execute, because I'm more of a visual learner. I like to apply what we're doing, apply to certain concepts, and I learn better that way. So it's been fun, and I think I'm getting a good grasp of it. But obviously, my objective is to get better every single day, and I know with a great head coach, his resume speaks for itself, and we got great guys in that quarterback room, and we're helping each other, and we're building.
Jameis, how much more confidence do you have to be aggressive as a passer when you're gunning for a starting role as a quarterback compared to last year when you fill in for Drew? I feel like sometimes, you know, I don't want to assume anything, but maybe you want to manage the game a little bit more and not turn it over, especially when you come in like in the middle of a game after Drew goes out. Does that make sense? Like, are you able to be more aggressive when you're gunning for a starting role and kind of cut it loose a little bit more?
I think it depends on the situation, right? I think our defense does a great job of mixing up coverages, especially right now. I mean, they probably have 3 installs in. So we have a great a defense that makes you check the ball down, right? But when those opportunities are there to get big plays, you want to execute them. We did that pretty well today. I know Taysom had a nice back shoulder to Marquez Callaway in a spear. So when you get those opportunities, you want to execute on those. But my main goal is to really perfect this offense, and whatever they need me to do, I'm able to do it.
You mentioned the amount of reps you're getting now. Do you feel what you've learned? Are you able to apply everything? And does it feel any different? Do you feel like you've made growth since last year, just being around here?
Yes, I feel like I'm getting better every single day. But one thing that helps, I'm telling you, when you're able to watch greatness run it, you build a mentality that you just like. I can go and watch cutters of him do it, right? So I'm just trying to replicate what he does, right? And then I get a grasp of different concepts that I like more than what he may like. You kind of pick and choose, like definitely when I'm planning, when I'm sitting there watching film, things that I may be more, things that I may like more than him. But in terms of the offense, I feel like I'm grasping it well, and I'm executing pretty good.
Traquan Smith, the first day, said how, talking about you guys working out, and it wasn't just on the field stuff. I mean, you guys were, it's just a couple of y'all, so you've got to know each other real well. I mean, how important was that, just on-field rapport and off-field, just to kind of get to know the people even more that you could be playing with?
Man, like I said, continuity. Like the more times I can see him getting in and out of a break, the better for us. Right, we want to be on the same page. He's one of our elite receivers, and we have to be on the same page together. So it was definitely a privilege to get to work with one of my main guys, down in Tampa, and it was fun. And you seen how it translate out here on the field. Me and him, that probably was our first incompletion today on the freaking slip, and we'll take that incompletion today. We know that. I mean, sometimes it happens, right?
What about just the importance of being able to spend time together? I mean, because you could work and then, you're also doing meetings and such, but just kind of that one-on-one, two-on-one, just...
Well, I often say that teamwork makes the dream work, right? So the more I just get to know who that guy is, he gets to know who I am. You kind of build that trust, right? So it's one of those situations where you look that guy in the eye and he's like, yeah, I know what page you're on, and I know what page he's on. So anytime you can build that team camaraderie with anyone, the offensive line, that's why, Sean, promotes gatherings, but with COVID and all, we couldn't do that, right? So we kind of lost that aspect of that team building. So the only time we get to spend time together is in this locker room. So we definitely got to take advantage of that. But this offseason, being able to spend time with Deontay, Lil Jordan, TQ, and Adam Troutman and Jawan and Nick and all those guys, like you just know, like when we get on the field, like, hey, we've been here before, right? We already executed these plays, so it's a different type of connection.
Jameis, I know you said earlier this offseason that one of the main things you learned from Drew was the decision making and taking what's there sometimes instead of trying to make it big. Is it a coincidence that in the first couple practices we saw a lot of quick slants and checkdowns, or is that you're going against a lot of some defenses?
It wasn't decision making. It's like we're making money off of decisions, not results. So we're not result oriented. That's the big thing. And as long as you gain completions, we're doing good, right? We have a great defense. We have a great offensive line. Like defense, they get tired when they see completions, right? They want you to check it down. But I think that's what Drew would have perfected over the last 3 years of his career of just lulling defenses asleep and then boom, 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 over their head, and there you go, a touchdown.
Could you share with us after the Tampa playoff game what Drew shared with you, the fans? I know, like, it was almost like a passing of the torch, or can you share what he told you?
No, he just was motivating me, man. Like, I'm gonna keep that between me and Drew. Like I said, I seen that guy battle through all the things he had to go through last year. So just for him to be able to be aware, be present, to share something with me, and that was probably his last game. That was a privilege and an honor. So I'm gonna keep that between us. I think he'll respect that.
Have you all stayed in touch?
How do you think?
Have you and Drew stayed in touch
Yeah,
since then?
we have.
Is that check down mentality? Is that a significant change for you at all?
No, it isn't. It is not no check down mentality.
Well, not mentality, but I mean, but like not before you take what's there.
Listen, it's take what they give you, right? And I think that's one thing our coaches preach. We want to, like on my resume, I said, elite progressions. Like we want to do that. Me, Taysom, all the quarterbacks, we want to be elite in our progressions, right? Typically, offense always says, someone is always open, right? So we want to be able to move through those progressions quickly and be able to get the ball completed.
Jameis, how did you guys take the Mike Thomas news?
Man, I was devastated. Like, he's one of the best receivers in the game, right? But the thing about Mike Thomas, he's working his tail off to get back with us, right? So it's not like we have a guy that's not going to be working. This guy is one of the most dominant receivers over the past 5 years. This guy has a tremendous work ethic. This guy wants to be here. So I guarantee you, Mike Thomas is working his tail off right now to get back with us. And that's what we're going to be able to cherish. We're going to remember this year for Mike Thomas, right? All great players go through adversity. I had some adversity where I had to sit the bench all of last year, right? So all great players go through adversity. Mike Thomas is going to bounce back stronger than ever. And that's what this culture is with the Saints organization. Like, before I even got here, the past 4 years, this team has been winning. This team has been together. So we're going to embrace our teammates, and we're going to love on our teammates, and we're going to have their back until they get back.
The dynamic of that relationship, I mean, were people upset with them or anything like that? Or was...
No. We're uplifting him. We're encouraging our teammates here. That's what we do. We got his back. I got his back, 100%.
It's early, but early impressions of Ian Book in the meeting room, and you're smiling. So.
Yeah, I love Ian. He has to be more prepared, especially on his rookie performances. He can't get called out in the team meeting and not be able to prepare. Like he has to be ready to sing his song. But all jokes aside, Ian has been doing really good. He's been very receptive. I think that I love our quarterback room, even with Trevor, Taste. All of us have great relationships, man. We're all building to help each other out because the thing is about this team, right? As quarterbacks, we have to put the team in front of all of us. We all have our individual goals, right? We all have our individual accomplishment that we want to accomplish on the field, but collectively, we want to be able to make the team go. And I think we're together, and I think we're all doing that.
Jameis, you kind of referenced sitting on the bench last year, and it was tough. I know you know what was going to happen. You know you were going to be competing for a starting job, but when you got that first practice in, and you know that you're out there doing it, like, did you reflect on that personally?
Man, it's always a great opportunity to have a chance to be one of the 32, right? And like I said, man, we got great coaches. I have a great team, man. I'm so blessed to be a part of this team more than anything else, And you can't put a price on having an opportunity to be an NFL quarterback. I mean, I think that's one of the most desired positions in all of sports is to be a quarterback, and I have a great chance to be that.
Jameis, you mentioned that play where
Again.
Traquan Smith slipped. Can you go through the next play from your eyes, the deep pass to Deontay? Was that just good coverage on that play?
Well, obviously I want that play back. But I mean, that's the thing. You know, it's next play mentality, right? Incompletions, we're gonna live with incompletions. But again, with the connections, the more and more we rep that, the later on in camp you're gonna see us connecting on that. The more and more we have, you know, reps where we feel the cornerback trying to send inside, the more and more I can communicate to Deontay on film, watching the film, like, hey, run it like this. Hey, how do you want that ball? Do you want me to drive that ball a little bit more? Hey, do you want me to lay that ball out a little bit more? And I think that's what leads to execution, right? That's the most important thing. You can run the play over and over and over again, but the execution may lead you to another place in the progression. So I know me and Deontay worked that ball a lot this offseason, not against a defensive player like Crawley. So we're going to continue to get better at that, and we're going to start executing on that.
You usually only have time to write down whether it's completion or incompletion, so it's just always helpful to hear y'all's perspective of what actually happened, so we can tell the viewers.
Listen, incompletions are not a bad thing, but we want the ball in our playmakers' hands.
Do you have any, I was talking to Pete Carmichael yesterday. He was talking about how much you guys really sort of poured over almost every throw you had made in your career. What were you thinking there? Was that something that took place last year or even this offseason? And had you done a deep dive like that, really?
You know, every year I get a chance to do a self-scout of myself. But, I mean, this year, I mean, I have so many people to self-scout. I mean, we had Tom Brady playing in offense that I played in the year before. We had Matt Ryan playing in offense with Dirk Cutter in Atlanta. And we had Drew Brees playing in this offense. We had 3 great quarterbacks playing in this division, right, in an offense that I know. And we had Teddy playing in Sean's offense in Carolina. So self-scout was kind of a little bit easier because in our conference, while we were watching against defenses in our conference, I was able to watch each concept against different defenses. And I was able to watch, 4 great quarterbacks execute in those systems. So I was able to take some things from them. I was able to take some things that I learned from my experience in those offenses. And obviously this newer offense with Sean, I'm able to see different concepts and stuff that I enjoy here. So it was an amazing year for me in terms of just growth of learning football overall because I had so many pieces in place to be able to take things from.
When did y'all do that, and I guess how long did it take?
That's a whole off-season thing, and actually during the season, right? I was able to communicate with some of the guys about just hey, this is what he's thinking, Tom and Matt, this is what they're thinking because I've been in those offenses, and as I watched them, right, I peeked them every single week. I peeked the Bucks, I peeked Atlanta, and sometimes of Carolina. Not much of Carolina because we run the same offense, but I definitely was peeking Atlanta and Tampa Bay every week conceptually on their offense just because I've been in those offenses.
Do you have any early impressions of 17, Jalen Opusky?
I think he can fly. I think my cousin Esau Winston is a great player. Great targets. We, like I said, as our job as a quarterback is just to get them the ball. I think everyone is doing a great job right now.
With Harris, Deontay, obviously he was a Pro Bowl return man. Special teams has been his primary responsibility early in his career. Are there, just watching your connection with him, you outline why he might have a more prominent role as a receiver in the offense?
Well, I just think because he's an excellent football player. A lot of guys might be specialists. A lot of guys might be just deemed as a receiver or a running back. But I think the thing that our organization does is we recruit where we get great football players. I know y'all heard that term, the more you can do, right? Obviously, he's trying to elevate himself higher. And I definitely think he's capable to do anything he puts his mind to. So obviously, he's made some plays for us in the passing game as well. I remember Minnesota when Taysom hit him for that big post, right? His role is definitely going to expand just because he's so talented and he's an elite football player.
It seemed like there are some plays where you were looking for him, especially that first practice where, what did he kind of pause and then go and get him for that touchdown? I know you were talking about that after.
Yeah. Anytime he's on the field, like I said, I'm going through my progressions, and if he's open, I'm gonna give him the rock. If he's not, I'm gonna find AK or Tay underneath or someone underneath to get the ball to him. It's completions. It's about completions.
You didn't have trouble finding AK in number 6 today, did you?
Nah, but I know AK ain't gonna be wearing number 6, man. But shout out to Timo, man. That was a great number 6 in this organization for a long time. We definitely miss him. I know he's doing a great job.
He actually retweeted something about him wearing number 6. And he was like, "What a great choice."
Well, I bet AK is the only person that he probably let wear 6, but AK don't want to break that check on wearing number 6. I guarantee you. All right, thank you guys. Hey, nice to meet you guys. All right, nice to put a face to the voices.
Yeah, we're better than
right.
Zoom, right?
Look forward to seeing y'all later. All right.
Thank you.